Dallas Mavericks get a 143-130 win over the New Orleans Pelicans in a fantastic offensive basketball game here at the American Airlines Center. Kevin Gray of 105.3 The Fan. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports, and subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that subscribe button right there for Kevin Gray Sports right here on YouTube. It was a fantastic night of offensive basketball as Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram combined for 36 points, but they were outdone by the duo of Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, who combined for 82 points. Luka Doncic scoring a career-high 46 points. Kristaps Porzingis a season-high 36 points. He made 8 3-pointers on the night, going 8 of 13 from downtown. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic going 5 of 8 from the three-point line, 17 of 30 from the field for those 46 points. The Dallas Mavericks shot a whopping 58% from the field while shooting nearly 56% from the three-point line. They made a franchise record 25 three-pointers, going 25 of 45 from downtown, shooting, as I said, nearly 56% from the field. This game was built as Luka versus Zion, and in another primetime nationally televised game, Luka Doncic showed up when the lights were the brightest and the stage was the biggest and outdueled Zion Williamson in this basketball game. Both of them spectacular all night long. Zion Williamson was absolutely phenomenal in this game, going 14 of 15 from the field, got to the rim whenever he wanted to. Brandon Ingram, with his patented mid-range game and his variety of shot making, was able to do damage with the 30 points that he had. But this night belonged to Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic. Kristaps Porzingis came out hot, especially in the first quarter, took more threes than any player in any quarter in the NBA this season when he shot 9 3-pointers in the first quarter, but at the same time got off to a terrific start for this Dallas Mavericks basketball team. I asked Luka Doncic after the game was over with about this. Is this the full coming of fruition that these two players, obviously being an extreme example, but of what they envision the two of them to look like? Here's what Luka Doncic had to say after the game was over with. Hey, Luka, you and KP obviously combined for 82 points tonight. When the two of you get together, obviously this being an extreme example, is what you guys envisioned, what you guys could do potentially on a given night like this when you guys are both on the floor together?
I mean, yeah, today was great. We both give our team, a lot of baskets. But at the end, the whole team played great, and a lot of people played great, and that's how we should play every game.
So Luka Doncic understanding that, look, everyone played well tonight in this basketball game to help them get their 4th win in a row and 5th win in their last 6 games. A guy in Tim Hardaway Jr., 21 minutes, had 8 points. He hit a couple of threes. Josh Richardson played well. Jalen Brunson was the defensive player of the game. He had 13 points and 7 assists in this game to go along with 6 rebounds. Everyone contributing to this basketball team. Dorian Finney-Smith was shot the ball really well from the three-point line, going 4 of 5 from downtown with 14 points. Everything got started off in the first quarter for this Dallas Mavericks basketball team as Kristaps Porzingis got off with a 15-point start in the first quarter, really set the tone from an offensive standpoint about what this night was going to be for the Dallas Mavericks with respect to how good they were shooting the basketball. And look, this is a team that gave up 130 points, and I've said it before and I've said it again. This team can't defend, but what they're going to have to do, as you saw in the fourth quarter, get stops when they need to be able to hold teams and get stops when it's most necessary. They held the New Orleans Pelicans to just 29 points in the fourth quarter to be able to outscore them 35-29 in that decisive period. Luka Doncic really got himself going in the second quarter as he put on an offensive display in the second quarter where he had 15 points on his own. It was a little bit of tit for tat between Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic. Kristaps Porzingis going off for 15 points in the first quarter. Luka Doncic going off for 15 points in the second quarter of his own after only scoring 2 in the first period. So you could tell early on that both of these players were going to have great offensive nights as the defensive resistance was not there for either team. Neither team's defense got off the bus in this night on a nationally televised game on ESPN for both the Dallas Mavericks and also the New Orleans Pelicans. Obviously, this is a game that the Dallas Mavericks needed to win to continue their winning streak, to be able to continue to build the momentum now at 13-14 on the season as they try to get back to 500 when they take on the Portland Trail Blazers on Sunday. I asked Coach Rick Carlisle after the game about whether or not this was a game, obviously in an extreme example, as we mentioned earlier, about what he envisioned Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic could be as a dynamic duo together on the floor when they're hitting shots, especially the way that they did in this game. Here's what Coach Rick Carlisle had to say after the game was over with.
Hey, Coach, with KP and Luka combining for 82, I know this is an extreme example, but is this the kind of thing that when you saw these two playing together that they could have nights like this, especially offensively, when both of them are getting going like this?
Very definitely. They're both great offensive players. They're both very unique. They fit together extremely well. Their games complement one another extremely well. And, the chemistry tonight was tremendous. So balls were being delivered on time, on target. Everybody, people stepping into shots in rhythm. It was great stuff to watch.
So Rick Carlisle loving, obviously, the shot making. You could tell during his post-game comments that he is still not excited and thrilled about the defense, especially giving up 53% shooting to the New Orleans Pelicans. Nearly 46% from the three-point line did the Pelicans shoot. And then, obviously, the shot making that the Mavericks were able to do to counteract what the Pelicans were doing, where they got shot after shot after shot. Brandon Ingram, fantastic game. Zion Williamson getting to the rim when he wanted to. Bledsoe was hitting threes. It seemed like there was just a ton of offense and no defense in this game. But at the same time, this is what you wanted to see from a Dallas Mavericks team who was dead last coming into the game in the league and shooting the ball from the three-point line, starting to get their legs under them, especially shooting the ball from downtown. And you saw how consistent they were throughout this basketball game. Dorian Finney-Smith hitting 4 threes, Kristaps Porzingis hitting 8 threes, Luka Doncic 5 threes of his own. Those are the high marks for the guys hitting three-pointers in this game against the New Orleans Pelicans. And look, take what you want to say what you want about this team and their defensive prowess. It ain't good. But at the same time, this team is learning how to weather the storm, which they've done earlier this year after getting through everything that happened with this team in terms of COVID-19 and the amount of players that they missed, but now getting their legs under them and playing much more consistent basketball and taking advantage of a homestand that's extremely important to them. Here is Kristaps Porzingis after the game talking about the performance that he and Luka Doncic had together and how he felt as far as his rhythm was concerned, especially in this basketball game. Here's what Kristaps Porzingis had to say after the game.
Hey, KP, 2 questions for you. One, what's going so well for you offensively right now? And 2, you just heard Rick bitch about the team defense for about 5 minutes. What has to happen for you guys to raise your level to where you want to be on that end of the floor?
What's clicking for me offensively is, I think, just I've been putting in a lot of work and I've been patient. I've been patient and knowing that at the end the shots are going to start to fall and I'm going to find better opportunities and I'm not going to force as much but at the same time knowing that I do have to stay aggressive, otherwise it's not going to just fall out of the sky. So. That's kind of been my mindset, and tonight was one of those nights where just shots were falling. I was open. I was in the right situation, right place at the right time, and that's it. And it just felt easy and seamless. So, for our defense, talking about our defense, I mean it's we can get so much better defensively. It's crazy. That's where we can make the most growth this season. And we've started playing not the best defense, and the positive thing is that we can get a lot better. And I think now once we have our roles kind of clear and the way we play clear and the subs and all of that kind of on lock, I think it's better for everybody mentally. And then when you go out there, you know that you're gonna play and you're gonna obviously not everybody, but in general, I'm saying, and that's when we can create that chemistry, and that's when you want to go harder for the other guy next to you, for your brother, and I think that's what we're slowly working our way into.
but it's a process, but I believe that with the group and with the mindset that we're having right now, we're on our way there.
So Kristaps Porzingis has harped on it throughout this season. His ability to get going early on in the first quarter, getting himself into rhythm, playing longer stretches, and feeling comfortable with his variety of offensive game and being able to show that off in longer stretches and periods of time has allowed him to really develop the kind of rhythm that we thought he could have coming into the season, although he was coming off the meniscus injury. And this is what Dallas Mavericks fans have been wanting to see, an offensive explosion from Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic at the same time. The amount of shot making and the variety of shot making from Luka Doncic hitting one-legged fadeaway jumpers on Dirk Nowitzki's silhouette on the floor. Kristaps Porzingis pulling up from 34 feet from the three-point line. Dorian Finney-Smith hitting corner threes and hitting threes out on the wings. Obviously, the aggressiveness of a guy in Willie Cauley-Stein who's playing well in the pick-and-roll situations, and then getting timely stops in the fourth quarter when they need to be able to outscore teams, to give them opportunities to win basketball games. This team is starting to figure some things out, but more importantly, we talk about this all the time in the NBA. It's a make or miss league, and on this night, shots were falling at a high rate for the Dallas Mavericks, especially for Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic, who I mentioned had a career-high 46 points, and shouldering the load from a scoring standpoint, sharing that alongside Kristaps Porzingis and being able to combine for those 82 points. As his team continues to go forward throughout this season, their ability to play even a small measure of defense will give them opportunities to continue to move up the Western Conference standings. But they cannot sustain this kind of defensive effort that you've seen from them throughout the season, giving up 130-plus points in a basketball game. They gave up a franchise record 147 points to the Golden State Warriors. It's amazing the ebbs and flows that we've seen in this season so far. A 51-point beatdown, giving to the Los Angeles Clippers, then giving up a franchise record 147 points to the Golden State Warriors, then tonight hitting a franchise record 25 three-pointers and scoring 143 points. The ebbs and flows, ups and downs of this season for the Dallas Mavericks on all sides, whether it be on the defensive side or the offensive side of the basketball, has got to start to even out so that they can find themselves playing much more consistent as games go on. Again, you love the contributions from Willie Cauley-Stein. He had 6 points, a couple assists, 3 rebounds, was active on both ends of the floor. Obviously, Jalen Brunson, I like to call him the captain of the Stay Ready All-Star team. His maturation and growth with this basketball team, especially understanding what his role is, continues to impress me, and I'm sure impress a lot of Mavs fans who are watching a guy potentially mature into a 50, 40, 90 guy this season. That is how good Jalen Brunson has been as part of the supporting cast of this basketball team. But as we said before, and we'll say it time and time again, this team starts and ends with Luka Doncic and his number 2 currently in Kristaps Porzingis. And what you've loved about what you've seen from Porzingis is the continued steady growth and rhythm that he's gotten into with respect to his offensive game. Feeling comfortable pulling up from 34 feet, the driving to the basket, being able to create some shots a little bit on his own, although that's not necessarily his forte, his willingness to be able to drive the ball to the basket, make some plays happen for his teammates, and then other guys like Josh Richardson finding their legs under them. Guys like Jalen Brunson, as we mentioned, continuing to find their roles on this team. Jalen Brunson said it after the game the other night. It's not about themselves anymore. It's about collectively what they can do to get better night after night, and you're seeing that come to fruition now that this team has won 4 games in a row, 5 of their last 6. We will see how this continues to progress, not just from an offensive standpoint, but can this team find a way to get stops and get better defensively more consistently night in and night out, because that will be the next step for this team as they continue now to find themselves shooting the basketball much better these days with respect to not only 2-point field goal percentage, but the way that they were able to drain the ball from the three-point line, hitting 25 three-pointers, as I mentioned, a franchise record. The Dallas Mavericks get back on the floor on Sunday to take on the Portland Trail Blazers and Dame Dollar, Damian Lillard in another primetime game on ESPN. Can the Dallas Mavericks make it 5 in a row when they take on the Portland Trail Blazers? But for now, they get a 143-130 win over the New Orleans Pelicans. Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic combined for 82 points as the Mavericks move to 13-14 on the season. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit the subscribe button right there for Kevin Gray Sports on YouTube. This has been the Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.